Super Rugby Aotearoa 2021. Time to look at the Crusaders. I don't know what I've done with my current Crusaders logo magnet. For the life of me, I can't find it. I don't know where it is. I usually keep all the magnets together. So it's the old Crusaders logo. It's not me making a statement about anything. I still think it looks pretty good, but I can't find the updated version. Anyway, magnets aside, let's have a look at the squad for the Crusaders for 2021. It's probably the least changed of any of the Super Rugby Aotearoa squads, which kind of speaks to guys not really wanting to leave the Crusaders once they get in there. We'll have a look at their fixtures list and how the predictions are going for the Crusaders for 2021. So like I mentioned, there's not a heck of a lot in the way of changes. Alatoa, Bauer, Jaeger. I think, did Jaeger get injured? Moody, Newell is one of the additions. Tuungafasi, that's EC Tuungafasi, and Tamaiti Williams. Tamaiti Williams and Fletcher Newell are the only additions from the Canterbury Mitre 10 Cup squad. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same guys who were propping the scrum for the Crusaders last year. I got it in my mind that Jaeger's gotten injured, but I've already started the video and I'm not starting again. Makaleo, I know, is injured in the hooker role. He's out for the season. So they're going to have to... He's always been their kind of second choice guy anyway. So, I mean, they've still got Cody Taylor and they've brought in Nathan Vella. So, yeah, and they've got Brody McAllister there as well. So it's going to be Cody Taylor who still gets the lion's share of the minutes. It's a pity to see Makaleo though, because he's certainly a good depth guy, and if you're going to have a guy like that as your number two, he's like one of the better number twos of the lots in Super Rugby anyway. Locks, you've still got Scott Barrett, you've still got Sam Whitelock, same as last year, you've still got Luke Romano, you've still got Mitch Dunshea, and you've still got Quentin Strange. That's probably the best locking depth in New Zealand. Like Scott Barrett and Sam Whitelock is an All Blacks starting second row pairing. Quentin Strange was called up into the All Blacks before he got injured. Luke Romano is a former All Black, and you got Mitch Dunshea is there as well. So stacked in that second row. Lucy's likewise, they got Blackadder when he's fit. Tom Christie, Cullen Grace, Sione Havili, Tom Sanders, and Fetu Douglas. The only changes there. Billy Harmon has joined the Highlanders, and you can't blame him when there's that much competition for spots in that Crusaders back row. And Ethan Roots has not got a spot in the squad this year, but if Blackadder can stay fit, he'll be gunning for a place. Sanders, Christie, Grace, Douglas, there's a bin going down my driveway, which is not the right timing because this squad is going to be one that's not in the bin. But there you go. Heaps of Lucy's. There's not a heck of a lot of changes, man. It's virtually just the same squad as last year. Scrum halves, halfbacks, Drummond, Inari, and Bryn Hall. Drummond and Hall seem to swap the starting role week in, week out. I think Hall got the edge for a while, but then Drummond seemed to come back strong, so those will be your main two guys. First five, Richie Mo'unga is the main guy. Brett Cameron, he's an All Black. Is he going to get many minutes behind Richie Mo'unga? Probably not. He seems to be a bit of a final 10 minutes guy, and they've also got Fergus Burke there as well, so it's mostly the Mo'unga show for the Crusaders. It was probably a bit more safe pair of hands when you had Hunt in there filling in the number 10 jersey, but it's probably Brett Cameron for the moment. I know he was talked up, I think it was Foxy that really talked him up, but he's never really quite panned out at the top level, but still a young guy. Midfield is maybe one where you look at, and there's maybe a slight chink in the armour of the Crusaders because Braden Ennor is out for the season, and he's been in storming form, but you still got Jack Goodhue, they've still got Punivai, they've still got Dallas McLeod, and they've brought in Rene Ranger, who can play the midfield or the outside backs, veteran. And like I mentioned, actually, Punivai is one of the guys they've added to the squad as well. But man, it's stacked. I don't know how many things you can say about the Crusaders squad. Man, it's not boring, but there's just not many changes. They don't need to go out and sign big name players because they've kept all their guys. Outside backs: George Bridge, Fainganuku, Jordan Mataele Mackay is one guy they've brought in from the Highlanders, but only short term because he's joining Glasgow Warriors at the end of the season. Severis Fihaki is the other guy they've brought in from Canterbury. So Canterbury, the Mitre 10 Cup squad, is pretty much just a feeder directly into the Crusaders, and most of these guys make the step up. Fitupaya is the one guy who left. He went to join the Highlanders. I think he got injured as well, but obviously struggling to find. I forgot to mention David Havili. Hopefully he stays fit as well, but it doesn't seem to matter with the Crusaders because even if guys get injured, you've still got someone else to fill in. So you could have a back three with Reese, Jordan, and Bridge. Bridge is injured for part of the season. Mataele is injured for part of the season. So it could be Fainganuku, Mackay, and Reese. Then you've still got Jordan. Goodness knows, man. Stacked. Scott Robertson still coach. Remember, he missed out on the All Blacks job because Fozzie got it. I think a lot of non-Crusaders fans would have liked someone else to be in charge of the Crusaders to give the rest of us a crack. But we will see. Hopefully the Crusaders, like, they're going to be the Crusaders. They're going to be there or thereabouts. They're going to be probably top of the log. Predictions-wise, spoiler alert, they are the favourite to win it. They just keep winning and winning and winning. So they're not going to get worse. The other teams need to get better to catch these guys. What can you say? Full of talent, well coached. That's just is what it is. The fixtures list, I think, kind of works for them in a way. Maybe it doesn't in another way, but they've got away at the Highlanders, which is a tough game to start the season because that's their traditional rival. You'd rather have that one at home, but then they're home to the Hurricanes, home to the Chiefs, and then away to the Blues before they get the bye. So it's kind of semi-tough, but if you look at the fact that the Highlanders have got a new coach, they've brought in a bunch of new players, playing them away first round might be the right time to play them before they kind of settle into the new way of playing under Tony Brown. Hurricanes and Chiefs at home, obviously they'll back themselves, even if the Hurricanes did break the drought down in Canterbury last year. Blues away will hopefully be a tough game if the Blues are on form the season by halfway through. And then Highlanders at home, it's the reverse. So Hurricanes away, Chiefs away, Blues at home in their final run. And then they get week 10 off, which may just be a nice break before they go into a final. So it could work perfectly for them. You got to think they're going to be in the final. It seems very unlikely that they won't be, but just remember, Will Jordan picked up a knock. I think Havili picked up a knock in the preseason game, so we'll have to wait and see how fit they are. Bridge and Mataele out for the start of the season. Eno's out for the whole season. Makaleo's out for the whole season. I seem to remember Jaeger getting injured, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But like I mentioned, they've got a heap of depth in that Crusader squad, so they're quite rightly the favourites for Super Rugby Aotearoa. So very few changes compared to everybody else. Pretty stable. They've brought some guys through from Canterbury. For the most part, they're going to be the team to beat. I'd like to see someone else win it, but as I mentioned, Crusaders aren't going to get any worse, so other teams will have to get better. I'll see if I can find the other Crusaders logo, folks. Don't know what I've done with it, but anyway. You guys let me know your thoughts on how you think the Crusaders are going to go in 2021. Do you think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that they will sweep all before them, or do you think some of the other squads on paper may actually offer a bit of a challenge? You guys let me know your thoughts. Talk to you again soon. See you later.